Hi everyone, this is 7/10 minutes with ARKHILITE C, and then guess who is in the house? We have Genevieve Ang, my dear friend.
Hi.
Genevieve, yeah,
Hi.
good to have you with us. Genevieve is a very accomplished crafts person, so I'll let her elaborate a little bit more on what she does. Not so much, is it for a living in a certain way?
Oh yeah, I'm
Please,
full-time now.
Genevieve, yeah. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
If you would like
Right.
to. Please,
So I'm
introduce
GELLYVIEVE.
What was it that you do?
Oh, okay. So I think I'm a ceramicist, full-time ceramicist right now, and I work under the moniker called GELLYVIEVE. It's been about 3 years since I started GELLYVIEVE as a ceramics outlet, and I recently took it full-time, only recently. So generally, I'm doing cups and also vases compared to other things, and I do maybe an update once in a while, and then yeah, and yeah, that's kind of like what I do in general.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, how does your name come about? I mean, obviously you have tweaked certain parts of your name. How does the jelly, how does that fit into the overall story?
Yeah, okay, so GELLYVIEVE, I mean Genevieve sounds like jellyfish, right? Yeah, I mean...
Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, it came from something very young, like people used to like try to make fun, kids just like make fun of each other. So they try to like give me names, which is like jelly bean, jellyfish. I'm just like, they all sound great. And I picked jellyfish because I thought it was funny, and then it became GELLYVIEVE. So it started off as like just a username online to, and I needed something that's unique, right? So GELLYVIEVE was like that, and then
that's quite
from there, from there you start thinking about jellyfish as like it's like a creature that's one of the earliest creatures like in the universe that came on Earth, and then I thought how they don't have a brain and they're just solely a manifestation of the ocean, and then the notion of not having a brain and just following the flow is something that I really enjoyed, so I decided to like stick to it. Not saying that I want to be brainless, but
definitely
more of like but more of like following the flow, which is something is very rooted in ceramics.
Now that you mentioned it, now I'm sure it's definitely more connected to your name and to your very much of the origin of your story. But of course it does make sense because the thing which you are, I mean the craft and the material that you are in a way obsessing with right now, clay. It's got something to do with something that really like happens like very long time ago.
It's an ancient craft, and
absolutely.
That's something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something that has been kind of kept. I've kept that in my mind for a very long time. And I first started ceramics at like when I was 10. Ceramics.
Yeah, great. Let's get into that. Because before the chat, folks, everyone, I'm just chatting out with Genevieve on for my days when as a kid, I have materials because I'm very much into arts as well. But kids, for my time, things like pencils, they're always there. So I grab a pencil, I do some stuff with it, crayons, But then as we progress into, we were talking about primary school. Then for me, it's very much more like a watercolor, poster color. I'm surprised that the poster color is still readily available. I thought there's like a material art material. There's more of a passe thing already. But for Genevieve, she actually has got the opportunity in her primary school. Not that you have to like venture out and participate in some private art club in order to get your hand, to be filled up with clay and all that. By your primary school, you're able to do it. So would you like to share a little bit more regarding that?
Yeah, so I was from Anderson Primary, and it was like a new primary school that just got started when I first entered. And I think the principal was very progressive, and then he loved pottery, and then there was a room dedicated just for ceramics. So for 3 years of my life, from 10 to 12, I managed to make a lot of things, and I still have them, and I don't know whether to throw them away or not.
Seriously?
Yeah, I still
No, it's
have
a
them.
retrospective. No, just keep it, you know. But
No,
it
it's
take
a
a while.
lot. I was very prolific when I was 10 and
Oh,
to 12, so I made a lot of things. And I'm having trouble because I'm moving right now.
You're
that's
packing.
it. And yeah, well, what else was I gonna say?
No, you were So you were as in the school was progressive. There's an opportunity for skills and for teachers. Is your principal the one like imparting all the skills and knowledge?
No. They hired like
else.
therapists to like teach us properly.
Is that available for everyone?
Yeah, it was. But I think a lot of parents just didn't like their kids to get themselves dirty, right? It's a very dirty crowd. You go home like, filled with clay on your uniform.
Then it doesn't help when some of the more mischievous one they probably rolled in a bowl. Do they throw at each other?
No. Not so bad. I think
but that was primary
just,
school, you know?
No. I think no, not at all actually. So when I was 10, I mean it triggered like this whole existential crisis because my pottery teacher told me like, your ceramics might be, relics in the future. So like thousands of years later, when like civilization ceased to exist, your thing might be really precious. And then from then on, I was just so shocked by the fact that I was gonna die. and I think I stuck to this medium because of it.
And the things might outlast your creations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have like some sort of a time capsule that probably somewhere in your school, somewhere near a tree, you dig out the soil and place yours.
Yeah, I mean the mural. I was just went past the other day. The mural that we did as kids, like the combination, it's still there. It's still on the wall of the school, which is quite interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That says a lot about the longevity of, I mean, of course, clay, but that really expresses a lot on the timelessness of that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things at home is actually made by clay. Your toilet bowl, your tiles, the bricks.
That's a lot. Of course.
It's a lot.
Of course. Okay, let's like fast track. Like 10 years after, what is it? Is it 10 years? No, less than that.
Not 10 years.
But maybe 6 to 8 years. When you're doing architecture, is there something relevant when you're doing architecture in NUS? Is there something relevant to your interest in art?
You mean why did I do architecture? Is it influenced by art?
Yeah. Or at least by
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, architecture is kind of like, it's either art or architecture. There was two routes. It was very clear to me that I wanted to do something with the arts ever since I was a child. Because I don't know, people tell you can draw, you love, and then you go, oh yeah, I can draw, and then you start to love drawing, right? So what kind of profession allows you to draw? I mean, these are some of the professions in the arts or in architecture or design. I mean, in Singapore, and then you tell your mom you want to do art, and then she's like, oh, maybe that's not gonna be a very wise profession. So
we're
my
gonna
dad
get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Sorry?
Because we're gonna get to that part. Because this is absolutely something which you're doing now, like full time.
Yeah, so I mean, I've gone out all the way, do architecture.
For just a context for everyone who is listening, architecture in NUS in Singapore is like a 6 years program, and including a 1 year internship. Is that still the way?
No, there's no more 1 year internship.
There's no 1 year internship anymore. Okay. So
it's 5 years.
Time, okay, got it. It's still long. So my time, I've got 1 year internship in between the bachelor and the master's program, right? But nonetheless, it's still like a full 5 years, right? So you were, of course, but the work, the creation that you have now, is there in any way like influenced by
the architecture training?
Your training in architecture, or is it like the other way around?
I think when I I mean, I did art ever since I was a kid, so, and I hate using the ruler. And so I kind of knew, like, I did. I hate using. Yeah, I kind of knew, like, architecture was a bit tough for me because you have to use the ruler.
It really depends on the studio, at least for the first year.
Yeah, I think that itself influenced how I create architecture when I was in school. I wasn't very to the point in terms of skill, and I did like almost an art piece at the end of my 5 years.
Like a gallery thing. So you were doing
I was using clay as a material,
and then you take photos and then you like scan it in and then you start to do that, start to draft out that.
Yeah, I'm a bit free hand kind of
organic
person.
Okay.
Yeah, but the rigor of the getting everything to the point and the detail of everything, it's what I learned from architecture, which is what I think it's applied to like what I'm doing right now. That's why I really like looking at the little curves at the end of my pots, and then the colors, the little details that makes the entire thing more delightful is what I was taught in architecture school.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and then the more free form kind of language, I think it's just something that appeals to me or had in me that I like doing. Yeah.
Share with us a little bit. How do you venture from because after you graduate from NUS, you went to you practice in an architectural studio. What gave you the leap? Wasn't it just recently that you left in a way to do whatever that you're doing, to do what you are doing now like full time? What is the impetus that happened? I mean, of course you shared with me, but just so that this is of value to people who are listening to us.
Right. So I think when I graduated, and during my internship, I really enjoyed the internship, but there was also kind of deep questioning whether the profession was truly for me. For example, selection of like the tiles and everything, it was really fun, but I think I did not get like enough. I feel like I couldn't get enough creative freedom out of architecture because of all the regulations and authority matters that I have to take into consideration. So when I graduated, I decided that I needed a creative outlet, which is, and then I thought back, what I really loved. And it was Friday afternoon in the pottery studio. And then I started to go for classes, and then it takes some courage to post your work after a while. And then after posting my work, people started to inquire about it. I realized...
Genevieve, I want to interrupt here, but I think this is to provide value. So when you are doing your architectural training in school and both at work, of course, you were like thinking of what else could be for you. But are you also at the same time having your fix of doing pottery and ceramics on a regular time already?
Yeah. I was doing pottery as I was working.
Okay. Even when you are studying. Even when you're studying?
When I'm studying, I'm not. So I stopped until I graduated, and then when I graduated, because I think you have less creative freedom when you are working.
Yeah.
I needed that, so on the weekend I went for classes.
Got it. So it was after graduation that you were thinking back to some of the things which can give you the creative output as well as the imagination that you could be like craving for, something that is you would know that is sorely missing because the training takes a long time. But between say primary school and secondary and then in junior college, I suppose, do you do pottery during
No. So that time in between 12 to 24, 12 years was
okay. You remember it so vividly. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like a missing boy. That's so interesting, my God.
Yeah, so it's just art classes and then painting and then other mediums that I'm exposed to. And I still love to paint, still love to draw. I still love doing sculptures with other materials. But pottery was the most enjoyable. That's why I went back to it.
Interesting. You reminded me of a passage somewhere in this book, Great, by Anderson Duckworth. She's like a scholar professor, but she's written this book. And then one of the things that she talks about absolutely resonated with me, because there is so much similarity between what's happening to you and what some of the theses, some of the thoughts that she has brought about in her book. And that is that a lot of times something that we are passionate in, and if you do not have a clue when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on, you can actually go back to the formative years, and I mean, this is at least how she would highlight it, something that's like between 9, 10, 11 to 15 years, that kind of period. That would be something that if you do not have a clue, again, like what I said, just reiterating that, when you're in 20s, 30s, and 40s, if you need something that, okay, this is not working well for me, I don't see the enjoyment in whatever that I'm doing right now, is there something which I do really like? That period of time which influenced you when you're doing pottery is actually one of the most brilliant moments. So this is great, because I was I was actually thinking of whether that's true. So I tried to think along of the things which I was doing then. I realized that, but it's quite close to art and to architect. I wasn't, of course, there wasn't an architecture per se when we were at 12, 13, 14. We wouldn't know what's the difference between like a building or something that's not a building, but something relatable to art. But definitely for you, this come to so much of a close connection.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we were so after you graduate, then after you have like reconnected back to some of the things which you really thought that would be helpful for you, like later on, and this is where you venture forth, took a leap of faith. Was one of the questions that is often posed to me by younger designers and all that, is that you have brought it up that even at this point in time, during my time, I wouldn't even think so much about it. I mean, the fact that wherever that we study and later on work as should bring in some income per se, some reasonable amount. but at this point in time, do you think that the tide has actually changed? That it is possible for people who may be even younger than you, that they missed out, the college part, as in the university or wherever that they are doing, and then to pursue things which, like for example, pottery, something which you are doing now. Do you think that's something that is like how I put it, quite different? Like the momentum is there for such circumstance to happen.
Or if you don't go to university, whether you can pursue pottery straight away.
Yeah.
Like an apprentice.
Like an apprentice, and then to make a living after that. The situation is still not there yet, right?
I don't think so. Not in Singapore. Maybe in other parts of the world, yeah.
Okay.
When the craft, when the support system for craft and there's is strong, and then there is a huge demand for craft and appreciation for craft. But at the moment in Singapore, I think it's only emerging. So it is, and also Singapore hasn't been developing in a craft-centric way. And it's very different from, for example, UK. I mean, they have so many awards, so many funds put into all these industries, that Singapore is just totally different focus in our country. So I don't think so at the moment.
All right, but whatever that you're doing now, it definitely serves as a more than a reminder, but something that you have like taken on, with the tenacity and as well and with the drive that you have left. Something that you have obviously still, even with your talent, studied pretty hard and long for like 5 years to venture into something which you would very much that you would look forward to, and you would come up that you would like wake up in the morning and be looking forward to that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you reminded me of a chat that I will be chatting up with a friend who is currently based in New York now. She's Hong Lin, ceramicist. She talks about she said somewhere, you know, that whatever that she's doing now, and she founded her passion for pottery later on, much later on, after she has accomplished a whole string and different layers of work and so on. But this is the one that really gets her like kicking and wanting, looking forward to at the very beginning of the day. You know, and then she was quite surprised because all the previous work that she said that she has done or she has like a work before doesn't really give her the sense of urgency and impetus and the drive to, you know, get out of bed and let's do something, let's get to rock and roll, you know, the clays and potteries and so on. So yeah, so this part is really interesting. I also see that your work really resonates with some of the things that you're talking about. Of course, we can still design something which is like pretty straight and flat and all that. But your most recent works, just now I didn't have the chance to. In fact, I forgot. I did not have the chance to bounce off with you to ask you to see whether you're able to share your Instagram feed, because that really shows a lot. Would you be able to? You want to try? See whether we're able to.
What do you mean? Like do a
share screen? Yeah, that's right. It's right in the middle. There's a share screen, and then if you press,
I have to open my screen first, no?
That's right. Yeah, you will have to do it. So what you can, yeah, that's right. So you can turn on your Instagram. I see your name. But you can turn on your like a Safari or
share content.
That's right.
Screen. Hold on now.
Now don't worry about it. Now I forgot to remind. We forgot to you know, to bring that part up. Right, but I thought it'd be nice really, because I think having like really interested in some of the things that you do, so there's a certain like progression, and you have like progressed into something which I like totally enjoy now. There is like a blend of your smiles. I'm not sure whether that comes to you. And then later on, before I let you go, I want to talk about what you mean by your crafts are like toys for souls and jaded ones or less.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. Yeah, so I'll give you some buy time for you, you know.
Okay. Is this it? Can you see?
Yes, I can see. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, so this is the...
Yeah, so cute. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Beautiful, artistic, organic. How did you get your inspiration from? I know you told me about it, but for everyone else.
It's actually from nature, I would think. I mean, the latest things that I've been doing, it's actually inspired by my visits to the park, Bishan Park near my house, and also kind of like a retreat that I took before this lockdown. I went to a tree house in Johor Kulai. And I met some very interesting people. It's actually, I saw like an art show, and then I managed to speak to the producer, and then he brought his friends, and I brought my friends to the treehouse, and then we stayed a night in the treehouse, and it was very interesting because we went for like a forest walk and jungle, and a sharing session about nature. And from there, it was a story about our journey on our trip. Like there was a bee. This middle one with the little dots. It's actually an incident where when we were in the forest, the bee stunk like a man, and then he really panicked and like stopped the entire walk. But you know, because of his panic, he really caused like the bees to panic as well. So this cup is kind of like talking about, you know, there's actually a flip side to things, you know, instead of being it's both the bee and the man being afraid. So this is the cup that has that story in there. So the one with a lot of the leaves, it's actually called Rain. It's actually based on my friend who's an actress. And you know,
is it the
rain
one at the
comes
right?
in many.
Is it the
one at the right? The one at the right
Got it.
comes in many forms, and like her, she's an actress. And then when we were at the tree house, we started deciphering like her name, which actually means like a continuous rain. So I thought, oh, it's such an a apt name for her, who's an actress, and because rain comes in so many different forms and it's so fluid, it kind of resembles the profession of an actress, I think. So that was that. And then the left one is actually train. So train is the one on the right as well of the car. Train is kind of talk about the journey, which is traveling to Palai. We decided not to drive, we decided not to take the bus, we decided to train because all of us enjoyed taking the train. And then when we were on the train, it was so weird. The train was going forward and backward. You don't really know like where you're heading to.
You
and then the little
somewhere,
faces,
but the process is something.
It was really slow. And then the little faces is kind of like discovering, when you're taking the train, it's always looking out the window and discovering something new when you go through the scenes of the journey. So I think that was the reason why I added these faces on both sides as a representation of discovery. Yeah, that's kind of like this series that I made 2 months ago. 1 month. Just a sec. Yeah,
it's essentially to give life and something which is very evident, right? To give a life through and to give life to things and objects that you're crafting out.
Yeah.
Make them like animate,
Yeah. So I think also I have like a deep fear of time fleeting, which is we are.
I know you were sharing just now about death.
Yeah, about death. So I think it all stems from there. And pottery is kind of like my way to cope with losing things. So I turn them into stone and then they'll last forever.
Brilliant.
So that is one of the kind of like the drive to what I'm doing as well. It's a form of recording in a different medium, I feel.
Absolutely. Genevieve, you were sharing the other time that you are also collaborating like later on with is that something that is like that we shouldn't be mentioning at this point in time? That be doing
collaborating with
National Gallery of.
Oh, that is cancelled because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's cancelled because of COVID. Because it was Matisse and Picasso was supposed, their works were supposed to come to Singapore, the National Gallery, and it's something that I was really looking forward to look at.
Of course.
Their works.
Same here.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it, I think 1 month back or something like that.
Yeah, it was such a pity that I can't see their work. But yeah, I was invited by Gallery & Co to produce the merchandise for that show, and I was really looking forward to that as well, as much as the works. So that was a shame to not be able to do both.
Yeah, no worries. Things will swing by again, I'm sure, right?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, the thing I realized, and it didn't really start off this way, but that's how I would roll like normally. And my friends were sharing with me that when we were like chatting out with friends and people and brands and all that, that I tend to get a little bit like philosophical. That means that I'll ask you for meanings, I'll ask you for why you do this and so on and so forth. But at the same time, we also go deep into some of the like say the technicalities and the specifications of the work that you would say you would do, So I think if I just draw in a little bit to again the story part, we were talking about toys, you're talking about art for the mundane. Really, I need you to explain more on that. What do you mean jaded soul?
Jaded soul, I think.
Okay. No. But folks, this is do you call this like a tagline or something? But like there are two phases that would describe GELLYVIEVE's works: toys for the jaded soul, and as well as art for the mundane.
Art in the mundane, right?
In the mundane. Okay.
So I think a lot of times it's just a mix of like a bit of resistance of growing up. I think because I was so afraid of time fleeting, I just shut myself out from this whole idea of growing older and growing up. And to me, I think maybe a year ago, I think I'm better now. So a year ago,
You didn't tell me about that.
a year ago, to me, growing up is losing some sort of magic. It's kind of giving up certain things, but I think it's still true to me. Growing up is losing certain hope, because you start to understand the inner workings of the world more thoroughly. So that is the jaded soul part. And I wanted this ceramics to still be, it still seeks out to the inner child of everybody.
Got it.
So that is the jaded soul, and the toys for the inner child. I think it's in every one of us, but sometimes we forget. And toys and art in the mundane is because I'm architecturally trained, I don't believe in making like useless things. So, oh shucks, no, not useless things. I'm sorry. It's things that have a function that is working in everybody's life in every day. And I want to create something that people can see as art and be with them on a daily basis. And the mundane, I think a lot of people think like ordinary life is mundane. So I think I took that word in as like the tagline, as an understanding. But I'm not sure whether it's a positive tagline or not. Slightly sad.
You're right. At the face value, it's really up to different people's imagination and their own interpretation based on their life, But I think I've asked like several friends. I think it sounded more optimistic than not and more about positivity than not to people. So I think on that part, if that's what you are trying to as in to let people know without them knowing so much about the story that which you have very succinctly told us just now, that you're still very much on the positive side than something that is more of the negative, or something that's on the darker end. But I think the string always like pulls both ways. You can't really get light without shadow, and you don't get shadow without light. So there's these both things which are like always happening at the same time. I think you are striking the balance like pretty finely, and yes, work very much to it's not even a matter of whether is it benefiting or not, but it's very you. It's like super authentic,
Okay, thank you.
No, really. It's not a compliment or anything like this. It's merely like a reflection of the things that we have discussed, of the things that you have like generously shared throughout these like perhaps like 30 minutes. And we always like try to talk about things in like 10 minutes, but we stretch it to like 30. Happens all the time.
Really?
Don't worry about it, because we wanted really very much to cover as deep and as interestingly and as wide as we can. So thanks again, Genevieve. I think this is really brilliant. So all the best.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.
Yeah, you too. Stay safe.
No problem. I'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
I'll catch up with you later. So folks, I'll see you next week. Genevieve, before you go, where is it that we can find you?
You can find me on Instagram through GELLYVIEVE.com. Yeah.
And your works are there.
That's it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, all my books are there.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Bye-bye.